Hey Jack.
Hey, what's going on, Vince?
Not too much. I'm ready for my lesson today. You told me you promised me you were going to show me how to get some free stuff, because it's hard to get money these days to buy stuff.
It's true too. It is.
So you got a secret for finding free items that I could sell?
I do. I got an idea that can really. If you're a patient person, this idea is someone that has to be patient.
Oh, I'm very patient.
Okay. Here's what you do. You know, there's a lot of little small papers you can run free ads in.
Free, like classifieds?
Yes.
Yes, I have seen those.
And then there's ads where you pay a little bit of money, maybe $5, $10. I think in some of the papers around here, it's $20 for 4 lines.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I've been looking into it. I'm kind of wanting to do it. You know, I haven't done it in a long time, and it really is productive if you're a patient person. What you do is you run several ads. One of the best I had luck with was wanted cleaning jobs.
Okay.
That's a pretty cheap ad to run than your phone number. Or wanted cleaning jobs, clean attics, basements.
Okay, so not like cleaning a house.
No.
Okay. Clean out, kind of clean out jobs.
Yeah.
Where you clean out their garage, clean out their basement.
We'll haul off your unwanted items.
Okay.
And then that's one of the ways. That's my favorite one.
Now, the people that call you, are they real estate people that are trying to sell houses?
You will get that. You'll get a lot of. You can build a little route like that too. As a matter of fact, I did do that when I had my store. I ran the ad to have people. They bring it right to me. You know, bring me a truckload of stuff, or I'd send a guy out to get it from a house that was in foreclosure, or people that had been they'd kicked them out of it.
Okay.
And the ads are real. It's a real and amazing ad because it's a real simple ad. It doesn't seem like nothing. But I'm going to give you a couple examples that I can think of over my lifetime that happened that are really good.
Okay.
I get a call one time, and now I think I'm like 23, 24, 25 years old, and I run the ad. And I got the idea that, you know, a lot of people will give you stuff just to get rid of it, you know, locally for merchandise or however you want to run that ad. You kind of develop for the area and what you do. But I went out to this house with this man and woman, and we walked out back, and she opened up it was like a garage, but more of a shed. And they looked in there, and his dad had that for a shop. And inside there were buckets of copper and brass and fittings and all kinds of stuff and tools and everything. And they said, we want to get rid of everything in here, and we'll give it to you. The tools we'll sell to you. So I bought all the tools that he had for like $100 back then. Of course, $100 was a little more money than it is today. But when we got done with that, we made $4,200.
Holy cow.
And they were tickled to get it clean.
So
they were tickled to get it clean.
Now, did you actually have to clean it, like sweep it out, or was it just emptying all the stuff out of it?
Empty all the stuff out. But I cleaned it up because they were a pretty old couple, and at the time I was a pretty young guy. But we swept it up and everything.
Oh, okay.
And another time that I can think of, it happened right in this area when I was about 18 or 19 years old. I used to go into the old east side of Chicago and hit those yard sales. And we'd drive back, and we go through, from Chicago, we go through Hammond and all that, and we go to Shipshewana, Indiana. You know, once a week we go in there. Man, that was big time back in the day. Still big time, but now it's commercialized. But Shipshewana was the place to go to get rid of anything. So I think I spent like $80 or $90, you know, and I had this here old station wagon, and I threw this stuff in the back, and we took off down to Shipshewana. And on the way down to Shipshewana, we stopped up to get a coffee. What do you call that? Just right after Rolling Prairie. It was just a little bitty restaurant out in the middle. It was an Amish restaurant. We stopped in to get some coffee, and I overturned my pass, so I went around the block to go back to the restaurant. And when I did, Emma looked at it and says, look, all that junk, my goodness. So we pulled over, and I got out and I looked, and it was a big lamp like that, leaded glass. It was broke, granted. Then there was all kinds of antiques and collectibles, old clocks, old
Was it a garage sale? Or
no, and there was about 3 or 4 batteries. About that time, now remember, this is like 10, 11 o'clock at night. This old gal comes out, and she's carrying stuff. And she says, what are you guys doing? And I said, well, I was thinking about trying to get that lampshade on. She says, take the damn stuff. She says, the old, and I can't say what she said, the old so-and-so left me all this stuff to clean up. She says, I'm just carrying it out, getting rid of it. And I'm thinking, this is 11 o'clock at night. This woman must be 75 years old. I said, look, I said, I'll tell you what I'll do. I said, if I can take my stuff out of my van, a station wagon, I'm sorry, I didn't have a van. We took it out and we set it there and then we loaded her stuff up. I said, I'll come back and get that on the way back by. And she let us do it. We couldn't get the shade on, so we had to put it on top. It was a slide glass lamp, leather glass lamp. We went down to Shipshawana. We did like $400 or $500, and I didn't expect to do $200-300 with the stuff that I had. So we got it on the way back. We come back by and we picked up our stuff, and I went up and thanked her for the stuff. And there was a bunch of batteries out there, old batteries.
Car batteries?
Yeah. And I said, I noticed the car batteries out there. Do you want them? She said, no, I don't want them. She said, I got to carry the rest of them out of the basement. She said, do you want them? I said, yeah. She said, you want to come back and pick them up when you get that other stuff done? I said, yeah. So we went down in the basement. The basement was full of car batteries.
Ah.
I mean, I think there was something like 440 of them.
Holy cow.
They were only like 75 cents a piece, but that was a lot of money back then, so we got those too free. But always stop and ask. I saw a guy yesterday, and I couldn't resist it. I drove around, I pulled up next to him, and he was already in it. He was a dumpster diver, obviously, but he was in this junk. And he had a bunch of old tools. It was dentist tools. He already had it, you know, but it was in a bunch of garbage. You could tell the stuff was old. Well, I said, what'd you get there, buddy? And he said, look at this. It was old dentist tools and a dentist, like a doctor's bag. It's pretty neat stuff that he got for nothing. That ad, if you're patient and wait. As I got older, I probably didn't do one of those cleaning jobs every 6 months. But when I did, I got paid.
Well,
you just sit back and wait.
Do you ever go out there and all they have is junk and they say, hey, clean my garage?
Yeah, I just tell them I can't do it. I can't make no money on it. You
know? So you're not promising that you're going to clean out
No.
their stuff. You're just saying, hey, I'll check it out, and if I like your job, I'll clean it
right.
up.
Well,
So
it's like with anybody, a contractor or anybody. If they like the job and the money, they'll take it. If not, no.
So you're not on the hook to do it.
No.
So how many of them did you walk away from?
Probably half a dozen.
Have you tried to screen them on the
every
phone?
6 months. And, yeah, you try to screen them, but you can never tell. I got a bunch of Crocs one time. A lady called me in Southern California. I went out to her house in a barn, and when I went inside the barn, there was a lot of junk there, but there was also Model T parts and a bunch of Crocs. I mean, her uncle had made beer, and I mean, there was probably 30 or 40 nice Crocs. And of course, I cleaned that out. You know, everything but the hay and the straw. You know, I wouldn't move that. You just make an agreement with them, and I got that for nothing. All you got to do is be patient. And I'm going to tell you something. Sometimes it'll surprise you, and I think I'll let it go at that. I'll tell you one more story that's really neat. We got stuck taking this old leather couch out that was inside this here garage. We got all pretty good stuff for the swap meet, and we got all that for nothing. And no, we got paid for that. I think we got paid $25. And we hauled it out. We got some really good stuff for the swap meet, as I remember it. But there was an old couch. I didn't like that, but we took it and we put it on top, and we put it on top of everything. And we were going to go take it to the dump or get rid of it. And so we went out to the dump with it, and the dump was free. And we got out there and we took it off, and as it come off, it ripped apart, and money fell out. Not a lot, but about 40 or 50 bucks in silver. Then it wasn't worth that much, but it was inside the back of the couch. That's another thing. You can cut the back of a couch, an old couch, and you look where the people sit and stuff lays down in there. Sometimes you find watches, rings, jewelry, gold. I found guns in the sides before the old couches. Those old couches, real old, they're worth looking at.
That's a good tip. All right, Jack. Well, you convinced me. I'm going to try to run this ad, and hopefully I don't end up cleaning up garages all week for nothing. But
just be patient.
All right.
The biggest problem you've got with it is when your wife sees it, it's going to remind her that she needs something cleaned.
Yeah. Hey, you're cleaning out other people's garages. What about ours?
That's right. That's what you'll hear too.
Uh-oh. All right. Thanks, Jack.
You bet.